Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to this video titled Real World Problems %. And what we're going to be doing is solving real world problems involving % type problems. Now you will need to get out your math journal, your math book, and turn to page 331, a pencil, and also a calculator. So let's turn over to page 333. We're going to do a few problems together. And we can see at the very top it says practice solving real-world problems involving finding the % represented by a quantity. Remember from our previous video we have the is over of is going to equal the % over 100. So whenever we're doing these story problems, we're going to need to figure out what the is of or % is. So setting it up like this can help us out. So we can see Mr. Sanders is making 80 cups of fruit punch for the opening of his bakery. He uses 52 cups of fruit juice and the rest is sparkling water. What % of the punch is fruit juice? So with this type of problem, we need to figure out the percentage. So we need to figure out what the is and what the of is. Just remember, is the partial of the whole. So we can see that's going to be, we can see 52 cups of fruit juice. We know he's making 80 cups total. That's going to equal the 100. So the of is the total amount. The is the partial of the total. And we don't know what the % is. So now we have it set up like a proportion. And we don't need to go through all the steps that are in the book. We have 52 times 100. That's going to give us 5,200. We cross multiply, and then what we do is we divide 5,200 divided by 80, and we'll be able to see that that equals 65%. So we can write in 65% right here for method 1. Now we can scroll down a little bit further on 333, and we know that 65% of the juice, of the punch, is fruit juice. Now we got to figure out what % of the punch is sparkling water. So 65% is fruit juice. What we do is we take 100, subtract 65%. That's going to give us 35%, showing that 35% of the punch is sparkling water. Now let's turn over to page 335. We're going to look at practice solving real-world problems involving taxes. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? So for number 1, it says a laptop displayed at a shop costs $720. There's a sales tax of 7% will be added to the price. What is the total cost of the laptop? So we need to think about the is over the of is going to equal a % over 100. So a couple things. We can see right away a laptop displayed at a shop costs $720. Okay, so that's the total amount. So that's going to be the of. So 720 is going to represent my of because that's the total amount. We also see a sales tax of 7%. So that's going to be a 7 over 100. Anytime we see a percentage there, it's going to go over the 100. That represents the %. So what we don't know is the charge of tax that we'll receive. So what we can do, set it up like a proportion. 720 times 7, first of all, we cross multiply and then we divide. So 720 times 7 is going to give us 5,040. Then from there we divide by 100. That's going to give us the sales tax of $50.40. Now, is that how much the laptop costs? No, it's not. We know it's displayed at $720, and there's a sales tax that's added to that $720. So you add $50.40 to that 720, and we can see that the total price of the laptop is $770.40. So let's take a look at page 336. It says practice solving real-world problems involving finding the whole given a quantity and its percent. So let's take a look at a problem like this. So we can see a cartoonist earns 12% royalty on the retail price of his comic books. He receives $25,800 in royalties. What is the retail price of his comic books in dollars? So we can, first of all, need to think about the is over the of is going to equal a percent over 100. So remember, we need to figure out whether you maybe find the is, the of, or the percent. So right away we see 12% royalty. So we know that's going to be 12 over 100. And he received $25,800. So we know that the 12% equals the 25,800. We don't know the total amount of his comic books that he sold. So we just know that 12% equals 25,800. But we don't know the of. We don't know the total price, the retail price. So what we do now is we cross multiply and then we'll divide. So we take that 25,800. So again, it's all about setting this up correctly. It's the is over the of equals a percent over 100. Multiply that by 100. You can see we have $2,580,000. Now that's not how much he sold, because we still need to divide that by 12. Take that, divide it by 12, and we can see that's going to be $215,000 in comic book sales. Not too bad, but maybe somewhat depressing if you're only making $25,800 from that. Still not too bad at all, but we can see that 12% royalty from $215,000 would give you $25,800. So once again, think about the is over the of equals a percent over 100. So the retail price of his comic books is $215,000. So this is going to conclude the video on lesson 6.4. If you have any questions about this concept, please come and see me.